I'm not the kind. That's why I'm shocked when I see people walking out of something out of emotion. I say, but you're going to wake up the next day.
That's true.
You're going to wake up the next day. Go away, walk out, don't say anything. It's also when I did my emotional intelligence training, where they tell you, you have to learn, never react.
Yeah. He sold his business to L'Oreal.
Yes, I'm the one who did that.
And okay.
Yeah.
Just think of how many companies have been, first of all, acquired in Kenya.
And
that was one of the first. I know the story of his business. I mean, like he started ground up.
Oh no, if you listen to his story and he tells his story and everything else, the guy started by selling eye pencils to salons along Moktadada Street, whatever that street is. You'd go and sit there at the reception, convince the receptionist, take an eye pencil. Can you sell that lady? She's just coming out of the dryer. Give her another eye pencil. That is how he started his business.
Wow.
And then he moved on to the shampoo. He'd ask the lady, what are they doing? What is that stuff they're putting in their hair? And then you say, where do you get it from? Then you go to the guy and then say, I'm going to bring it. And then he looks at it. He figured, how does it get made? Then he started, taking it, remixing it, diluting and putting his own label and selling. I mean, the man is an entrepreneur to get it to the size that it was. So now I had to reopen then the conversation with him, go and reach out to him. First thing he tells me, those people that came, they abused me. What do they think they are? I'm a businessman. You think I haven't grown this business to what it is? I said, yeah, okay. Okay, but now this is me. I'm your fellow Kenyan. Let's talk. Can we talk? Yeah. So we spent a year negotiating with him.
A year? The emotional connection to his business is like, no?
Yeah, I had to spend a year following him, negotiating, understanding, getting to understand valuations of business. How do you value a business? What it is. But in his head, I think he had a number he wanted. He would not move for a particular number. But then I have to go back to Paris, go and sit with Paris, and this is going to be the number. They're like, hell no. When we look at the numbers, this is X out of the ballpark of what we should be paying for the size of the business. I said, but you have to put a value to the emotional connection to all those things of the brand. And that is not something we learned about. You have to understand there is that as well.
This guy is,
we need this. And I sit down and say, we've done our projections. For us to turn around this business, what you're going to put in over the next 3 years, and you're not even going to get anywhere to develop whatever. It's the same amount you might as well pay this chap, and then it fast tracks the trajectory of the business. So every day, I'll never forget, I'll be calling them in London. Okay. Can we go up a little bit more? No, we give you cup. We give you the cup. No more is in that. And I'm like, okay, I go back.
And would you come and ask him to go down?
And then we go, he says no. And then he disappears on me. He stops picking my calls because you're not whatever.
You're not on my side, you.
But eventually we agreed. When we got a number and I agreed, he told me, I'll never forget that day. Till now, I remember that day when he said, fine. And I called back, I said, guys, this is the number. We give this number, we close the deal. And I said, okay. I give it to him. The guy said, fine, but and then I think after he started thinking, and I said, but you have to sign now, agree in principle.
Yes.
But he said, if they agreed like that, maybe I should have asked for more.
You're like, no, we're not about
No. So it was the best, I think for me, that was a crowning moment. Because for many things, it did so many different things. It made a statement for me that a local business could be validated, could be seen. And all the work, starting from him lying at Uhuru Park every day, to one day having a multinational.
What do you mean lying at Uhuru Park?
That's what he used to do. He used to come from Dagoretti. He comes, he looks for work, he doesn't get any work. Instead of going all the way back, you just now lie at Uhuru Park, you go back and see what else is there. That's why now you'd wander salon, see what is going on. Because he says part of the thing about lying when people do those things is you're trying to hear where the opportunities are. Because the people lying there will tell you, is there a mujengo here? Is there something here? Is there something new? That's why you're there. When you go back to a Dagoretti there you're going to wind up people with alcohol and drugs and you just go into whatever. I think that's how he managed to stay out of that. Yeah, his story is incredible.
No, that story
his story is amazing. And then to the Mukokoteni, when he grew to the next stage of the Mukokoteni. So I sat down and I tell these guys, for the guy to be at this stage with these products, selling this, selling this amount. There's no price. And that's why he can tell you he can continue. If he's brought it this far, he can take you to the next stage. So we had to find another emotional hook. And part of that emotional hook, imagine you're going to go international. You from Huru Park to international.
Did he remain with equity? Or that's
no, he didn't. We bought out 100%.
Okay.
But I needed him to hang around and hold my hand for them, because a merger, the merger was complex in that I've got a team of very posh people selling very posh products, and I've got guys who are selling really mta. I'm telling you, these are the soft, subtle things you don't realize. These are the guys who knew the businesses. These guys knew how to sell. They knew how to, were down to, but he run it like a low margin business, which is what you need in Africa. So one of the biggest things, the team I had for the L'Oreal, the ones I brought on, I'd gone to Simba, we're negotiating. The sales guy had a Prado, the other guy had what is this the second tier of a 4-wheel, what is it called? Of the Toyota car. No, what is it called? The 4-wheeler. RAV4. They had RAV4s. Now his guys had Pro Boxes.
Whoa.
Now we're going to merge and sit in one place. How is this sales guy with a Pro Box going to be next to the one with a RAV4? It doesn't work. So we had to figure out.
Wow.
Now, but when you convert all of them into RAV4s, the issue is then the model that he had was not going to work, because these are lower margin, lower value products. So, it was good fun anyway.
So, no, but like, what do you do in a situation like that? Like, literally, we're talking here and here.
Oh, the hours we spent trying to figure out staff, what you're going to do. I still have those spreadsheets. I remember some of those spreadsheets. I look at them sometimes just to ask myself, was I mad? Was it, those spreadsheets, looking at staff and saying, how are we going to bring people closer together? How are we going to merge? How are we going to move to the same office? Because now we're in posh old Nana Road, in a lovely office there, where we all used to be, with places to go and eat next door. Now you're coming to Mombasa Road. And in my head, I'm like, Mombasa Road, I'm going to get to Mombasa Road, because that's where he had the factory and everything else. But we had to be there. We had to be one.
Yeah.
Right?
And I mean, you can't up and lift the factory.
And so even the food, the factory, the canteen, we had to adjust. We're going to be eating Friday, treat was dengu and chapo. But the rest of the week, you have gideri, you have whatever is available. We can't start having now you're having sandwich.
There's
no sandwich. There's no sandwich.
Wow.
Yeah. So those are some of the. So anyway, that was good. I think for me it was a crowning moment.
So how long
I said in my career.
Yeah, that one.
The acquisition was a crowning piece for me, because I make it sound easy afterwards, but it was not. And I look back, and even now it feels kind of, but if you were to tell me step by step, how did we get there? I cannot tell you. I mean, I can tell you, I can see it, I feel it, I know it, but it was
wow.
In fact, I look at some of the pictures that time. The only thing is I was so fat. I keep saying I can't share them. But I was so stressed half the time. So I said, no, don't laugh. It's not funny. It's less sandwich. The sandwich. And my CFO was brilliant. He's the one who first actually started introducing me to wine. And to understand wine, because he loved his wine. Till now, actually, he's got a beautiful winery thing in the south of France. When he retired, that's what he runs. Michel, who was my CFO.
Yeah.
So he even had, we agreed he'll bring a little wine thing in the office. So he'd show me wines. He'd teach me what is wine.
Yeah.
This is good. This is bad. But just like, they will taste the same. But, okay, so eventually I got it. Yeah. My palate improved. I became
a connoisseur.
I started to align all these things and everything else.
Crazy.
No, but it was good fun.
No, but
but after that, to be honest, I was tired.
I can imagine.
I was mentally. I tell people, if anybody asks what's the meaning of burnt out, after 3.5 years, I was burnt out. And I understood what burnt out is, because in the 25 years, up until that time that I had worked, the longest leave I'd ever taken was maternity.
Wow.
Which was 60 days, those days each.
And it's got its own
work. And it's a mental, the whatever, and you look at the pace, the things you've done, the travel, the this, you're always either on a plane, you're either thinking, you're either doing that. I was burnt out. That's why I say I was overweight, my skin was horrible. I mean, when I look at pictures of that time, I realized the impact of stress, which you really underestimate. And when I made the decision, I said, I'm going to take time out. It was one of the hardest decisions because I have to go. First, I have to internalize myself that I can do it, that I could take time out, that I acknowledge I'm burnt out. I need time out. But then to go home, you're the person who's always been out and about and doing, to say you're doing what? You're packing it in. How? What are you going to do? How? You're going to survive.
Just been in the house.
Yes. How? What are you going to do? How are you going to survive? But the biggest thing also for me was sitting down and saying, but maybe this is going to be the test. Because people have always known you as the person who's done this or person who's doing that. I asked myself, am I still going to exist? And this is the biggest power I tell people about who you are in your life. I told you I write 2 CVs, what I do and who I am.
Yes.
And that's the time I started saying, this is what's going to allow me to discover who I am, not what I do.
Wow.
I want people to know me for who I am, not what I do. Because I'd always been, so Patricia or VABL. Oh, you're the one of VABL. Oh, Patricia, and the old ones. Oh, you are the you are not you. You're always something associated with something. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what year do you take rest?
Back end of 2014, I decided, okay, enough, right? And I take a break, and I say, okay, I'm going to take a break. Let me have a year out. And it was also perfect because it coincided also with my children wanting to go to college. And I sat down and said, here's a problem here. They're gone. Once they go to college, they're going to be gone. I've been working all my life in and out. Although I've had tons of quality time with them, I've never really, there's always, when we'd go on holidays, they take my phone and lock it in the safe in their room. And I sit down and I say, come on, you guys, you can't do that. I said, no, you can't no, Mom, we're on holiday. You're not going to be on your phone. I say, but what about Pa? How come Papa's, you're not taking his phone? Oh, but you're a mom. That was always the response. You are a mom. And I think that's one thing I've always understood, that whatever you do, if you're a mom, you'll always be a mom. Because I'm telling them, you can't do this, girls. Why are you taking my phone and you're not taking your father's? But you're a mom. Okay. And they'd keep it. And we'd negotiate. And I'd say, we're going to give it to you. Tell me what are the times you need your phone. So I'd get my phone at night. And I'd get it till about 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning. Yeah. So I'd check any messages, anything to approve. And I'll tell people, I'm only online until 9. And I'll be back again.
It's like
at 4 o'clock. Okay? So you guys get with it. They'd lock it in the safe in their room or in a suitcase and not give it to me.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and that's what I started to realize. I think when we were going to college, I was like, you know what? You do need to connect with each other. They are going away. And then that's the time the eldest one had taken her on a trip thinking she's going to go to England. They're all very bright girls. I'm like, oh, took her to Oxford to try and immerse. I was doing an Oxford program there. I said, let's go together. So they see it and they said, we hate it.
Oh.
I said, sorry? This is it. What do you mean? This is a dream. Live the dream, man. You're not going to. Nope. Hate it. Okay. So what do you want? To go to America? Where? Who goes to America? Do you know how far that is?
Wow.
And that's when I realized. Then you go to the school and you realize they didn't have a system to take children to the US. They gear them to British curriculum, British kind of system. English, either you can go to Canada, you go to England. If you don't get into England, you can go to Canada. And at worst, you can go to Australia.
Yep.
That's what the States, they had no idea. Didn't know how to begin. So for me, also taking that break was an opportunity because then I started to figure out what is it going to take? What is the process of application? How do they do these things? I was sat. And in my head, I kept saying, I can't have children who could wind up in the top-notch UK schools going to North Dakota University or something like that. I mean, why? Why would you do that? And that's what I did. So I spent the time investigating, looking, going them to places, taking where they can coach, they can build their skill on SAT and everything else. So that's what I did in that year.
Wow.
And that's why they were able to do that, because then I could be with them, right? I was there, I'd follow them. I'd go to this guy in Tanzania, we'd sit coaching. Let's look at your essays. What are you going to write? How are you going to do that? But then after about a year and a bit, I'm twitching.
Wait, how was that gap period for your marriage?
Oh, it's fine. I mean, my husband kind of gave me a space in his office. which I used to go to. I went and got myself a beautiful red couch. I did my coaching certification. I said I was going to coach.
Nice.
That's what I did, my coaching certification. So I had the couch. So I could get people sit and do coaching. And it was, hey, and then I'd disappear for a bit. I come back. I come to the office. Where's my couch? He's taken it to his office. I'm like, what is this? You could have bought your own couch. This is my couch. You gave me this space. Now, how come it's in your office? It never left, by the way.
So the twitching started in end of 2015.
Yeah, so then I did that. And then I realized I needed to get back. But I also realized maybe not get back into corporate just yet. Because I'd always told myself I want to do something around impact for a while.
Can I ask this?
Yeah.
Don't have to answer. And I know you. Please, it would be nice if you answered this.
Yeah.
For you to take a gap year means that you've sorted some financial systems in your life.
Yeah.
Had you?
Yes, I did that. Oh, yes. I told you I'm independent.
Oh.
The calculations every single month to the end. I'm not reckless. As an individual, I've never been reckless.
I know a lot of people who are in corporate Kenya who live beyond their means. Meaning, it doesn't matter if you're earning 1.1 million shillings a life. You're living on 1.5.
I was very clear. I'm a very insecure person from that perspective. I've told you, independence. So I would never be reckless. I would, even if you want to beat me out of a job now and do whatever, I'll hold on to it if I'm not ready. I'm not the kind. That's why I'm shocked when I see people walking out of something out of emotion. I say, but you're going to wake up the next day.
That's true.
You're going to wake up the next day. Go away, walk out, don't say anything. It's also when I did my emotional intelligence training where they tell you, you have to learn, never react. Reaction is the worst thing that you have to do. So even if somebody upsets you, go and type that email. Use every single thing on the keyboard. Right? Exclamation, question marks, you name it. But don't put the name of the person. Because you might hit send by mistake. Yes. Right? And just do all that so it vents. So you allow yourself to get it out.
Release.
Let it out. Leave it. Wow. And then leave it. And then come back the next day. Wow. Look at it. You're going to look at it and say, gosh, okay.
Thank God I didn't hit send.
I didn't hit send. So I've always been.
So you must have a lot of emails in your draft, eh?
Yeah, I used to have many drafts. But the older you get, the calmer you become. Okay. Now I just write in bed, like, oh God, who's this, that. And then I become calm and I'm like, okay, now, end game. Look at your end game. Always, what is your end game? What are you trying to achieve? What do you want to do? And so I did that. And I said, but I always wanted to do something around impact. Because also I recognized going back into a high challenge commercial role with numbers every day and whatever, these girls were going to be very far away. I needed to be able to jump on a plane or do whatever and be next to them. So again, when something sent to me about Stanford and I apply, the Stanford Seed Program, I said, this is straight up my alley.
They were
looking for somebody
to be part of it?
Yes, so somebody just tells me, Patricia, this is something I think you'd be very good to go and meet the guy. They're in town. So I go and meet the guy, talk to them, meet a few others. Then I get the job to be the regional director for the accelerator program. And it was perfect for me. First of all, it's connecting to the school, which my daughter has just gone to.
Yes.
Which is to university she's just gone to.
I
was connecting to the US. I needed a connection to the US because I needed, if they were going to be in the US, I need to be going to the US often. So now I've got an employer who's right up my street. It was perfect. So now when I go, do the month or whatever, the summer, when I'd have to go and do stuff there, it was perfect because I'd be with my daughter, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
What exactly was your role in that? Were you getting startups within Kenya?
So the Stanford is an accelerator. So again, something I launched. Now I'd gotten to this act of being the only person and starting something. Now I'd gotten used to that. I loved it. I started saying, actually, this is quite a bit of fun. Being a startup chick is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. So, it's like riding a bike. Now, you know how to ride the bike. So same thing, started. They had some crazy guy who they gave me, some American guy who was supposed, absolute wacko. He used to talk to a cat. And he said the cat used to talk back to him. I just told the guys, you need to send him back. I'm not sitting here with a guy who talks to a cat and telling me the cat came and he was speaking to him. But a very interesting character. That guy was not okay. I'm sorry if I may say so.
Is he not your CFO at this time?
No, he's not CFO. When I saw the seed, he's a guy who they'd sent to kind of help look, because they had a lot of these volunteers.
The Juju of Kenya
they had a lot of all these volunteer people who come in. So then now I had to set up, then launch the program and have the launch event and all those type of things. So he was a kind of guy who was kind of connecting, and then they put him around to kind of help, because he was available. He could come and help.
You're like,
He's staying up the road and he's saying, okay, he's the one who identified the service office, So he had done a few things beforehand in terms of what he needed to do. But I'd hang around him and he'd kind of be, I don't think you need to do this. And then I realized this guy thinks he's going to come here and start telling me, that expertise. Yes. But the biggest thing is you're talking to a cat. And you're saying, so the cat came and, it talked to me. I said, what did it say? I was straight to them. I said, I'm sorry, guys. It's not going to work. We don't talk to cats here. We don't have conversation. So then set up the accelerator. It was a fantastic accelerator program because the way it worked is you recruit businesses across the patch, right? And they go through a 1-year transformation program.